Triple news with the Audi Q5, recently facelifted, available as the Sportback SUV coupe shape and also as a new updated plug-in hybrid. Let's find out more about that. Let's go. This is Autogefuehl with Thomas. Please subscribe if you haven't done so far, and if you have already, you're very cool. Here in the front of the Q5 with the facelift, wider front grille, sporty look even for the base versions. And here the matrix LED are an option. Then you have more high beam feature, and of course very cool also as for the cascading turning indicators, both in the front and in the rear. Well, next to that you have this special feature here, the rear OLED. So it's an option, there we go. Seen here this proximity sensor. This is a beginning of that the cars communicate with the outside world with their lights, saying like, hey, you're coming too close to me, buddy. And here you can also see the difference in design when you have this Sportback version, that you have this falling effect here. And yeah, I think it's just a design preference. Which one would you prefer actually? From the rear maybe? I think the normal Q5 even looks more consistent in design, doesn't it? Lower part, that's really cool. No fake exhaust tip whatsoever. Finally, they got rid of that. The length at 4.69 meters or 185 inches. Wheels-wise, the Sportback version starts with 18-inch wheels and up to 21-inch. These here are 20-inch wheels. The color, very interesting, is called District Green. Is it more like In My Hood Yaw or District 5 or District 7? Where are you from? Well, it's unusual, let's take it that way. Here the wheel arches, they have changed that also with the facelift. In this case you have this kind of SUV crossover look, but you have it in a painted style. Then there are different stylings available indeed. This one of course looks a little more sophisticated, and you get both the SUV and the SUV coupe shape if you want to take that. This is called the Sportback now, and you can see it right here with that falling roofline. It appears smaller in that way. Really like this car key. It's slim and light and high class, better than the all new ones we've seen from some manufacturers. So this is one of my favorite ones actually. Pretty cool. Door closing sound, very solid. But not so solid is what we see here. Still some hardpack here at the inside of the doors. In this price segment, not acceptable. Then here, this is actually nice with nice clicking sounds here, and these, you know, these polished tops. This is good build quality. Here we have the S-Line interior, not S-Line exterior, but S-Line interior. Then we also have the S-Line steering wheel here, no sporty style, perforation at the sides. And even here the top dashboard is not too soft. Actually, it's almost hardpack entirely. And here then the S-Line seats, pretty cool. Here also with fabric inserts. They are not available in the US market though. In Germany or in general Europe you can get here fabric or also microfiber, but never without animal share. So not a step in the right direction yet. Also with the facelift, no news in that respect. But the seating comfort in general here is actually quite decent. Here we have the manual control of the steering wheel, but goes very wide in and out, and with 1.86 or 6'1", there's plenty of headroom left. Interior overview, very clean, stylish here with this split here, Quattro logo and brushed aluminum. And yes, my favorite AC unit, and I really love it. It's so easy to control it while driving, and listen to that. Click, click, click from the Audi Sound Laboratory. It's wonderful. And also here, this has some capacitive function. It's interesting, right? So there are actually buttons which have some capacitive function, but still there are, real buttons. Really, really cool. I see it is fading away, but I hope it will stay some more time. Then here in the lower part, the drive select, this is not that easy to reach. And here you can switch between the EV mode and the EV hybrid mode. Soon more details while driving about that. Okay guys, one more time. One more time. Then usually with the facelift you get now this touchscreen which is attached, 10-inch. It's very easy to access and to control actually. And here that touchscreen, to me it is actually something better because it makes the car faster to control. Here in the driving modes we can take a look at that. Here Audi Drive Select, the air suspension which is put in this vehicle as an option. Here you can raise it then, for example. Also here for off-road moding, or it will go down here in the dynamic mode. And then with this EV drive select you also have here it predominantly goes in the EV mode with the plug-in hybrid, and here it will just decide it on its own. And you can also have this battery hold or battery charge function. It's not efficient, but it might be needed if you have a city with, electric zone only or something. Then you can of course use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's a nice integration like this. And the sound system here actually is pretty cool. Yeah, really like that sound. On the left side here you have the digital instruments. These are an option. You start with analog gauges and then here 12.3-inch Audi Virtual Cockpit. The digital instruments, the Audi Virtual Cockpit, I really just love it, I have to say. It's so crystal clear, and to switch around the views is actually super easy. Of course, you can also have the GPS in the middle, all here full screen. Lovely also that we still have a 3-dimensional real logo here at the steering wheel. In the Q4 e-tron, it is gone actually, and I don't like it. Prefer it just when it's like the real thing. Yeah, I always prefer it in the real thing. Don't you as well? And here as well, here. Yes, there's a normal volume jog here at the steering wheel. It's so easy to control it while driving as well. Lower area with a USB-A charger, then this is, when you have a smoker's package, but otherwise it's just, empty. Another passenger volume control. Here you can put the key, for example, and then this is an inductive charging pad. I can, however, just put my smartphone in there also when I use the cable, which then has USB-C charging here. In the rear you also have these nice fabric covers here, and these with this setup here, so that's cool. Knee room wise, it does fit for 4 tall adults, but not that large. Headroom wise, also okay with 1.86 or 6'1", and it's actually fairly comfortable here. Kind of like a single seat setup, but it's really good. Big middle tunnel with some charging possibilities, and here sitting in the middle part is possible, not the best, also not the worst. And what you can also do is changing the angle here of the seat like this. You can have it like this upright or a little bit more to the back, and then you could also fold it from here. So it's actually quite interesting that here in the rear there's hardly any compromise here with the Sportback version. Here with 510 liters you lose about 40 liters in comparison to the SUV, because it's just measured here below the cover. Then the full loading potential is even a little bit less than in the SUV style. 95 centimeters or 37 inches in the length, and here the width is even over a meter or 40 inches, so that's good. And you still got enough height even here, just about 45 centimeters or some 18 inches, so that's actually fine. You don't lose too much. You can see here the cabin trolley also fits in easily in a vertical way, and here you can also fold the seats, and they fold quite well. If you want to have them fold completely, you need to push them with your luggage, and here there's like a charging cable box, which is like massive. And you cannot fold up anything here, so the question is if you want to keep that. That's one difference here, by the way, with the PHEV, so this area cannot be tilted up. 2-liter 4-cylinder or 3-liter 6-cylinder, both petrol and diesels are available. The SQ5 as petrol version only available in the States, for example. In Europe you get the SQ5 diesel, but now there's an alternative, the plug-in hybrids. Why is that? Well, they're based on the 2-liter 4-cylinder. And the interesting thing is they are very quick, because here the 50 TFSIe and then there's the 55 TFSIe. They're really powerful, 300 or 367 horsepower system output, so around 5 seconds or 6 seconds in the acceleration figure each. That's of course pretty massive. That actually means that the 55 TFSIe is even quicker than the SQ5 petrol. Wow. But of course it won't sound like that. And maximum charging speed is 7.2 kilowatt of that 14 kilowatt hour battery. So in an ideal case, just about 2 hours to charge that battery, but of course it's not too big though. Welcome to Thomas's driving lounge here with the Audi Q5 Sportback. PHEV from 50 kilometers an hour, acceleration, let's go. And 180, that's enough for now, so pretty quick. And of course here with the electric power, it is even quicker in the very first moments. That's the thing. And this one here around 6 seconds in the acceleration figure, and the other PHEV version, which just has a little bit more horsepower tune, just over 5 seconds, and that's even faster than the V6 SQ5. So really astonishing here, the plug-in hybrid power, although it comes from the 2-liter 4-cylinder. But the thing is really not in these later stages, when you're here at higher speeds, more in the earlier stages. We're in the sport mode here, using electric power and combustion at the same time. The air suspension now is really, really stiff. So it really stiffens up when you are in that sport mode. Then it doesn't feel like an air suspension at all, but we have here a lot of great stability. Noise insulation is on a good level, not the best, but definitely not bad or something. So definitely a good level. There's an extra here for about 150 euros. That there's also the special insulation here at the side windows here in the front. And when we take the drive select here, it's placed here in the lower part, and put it to the auto mode, and the suspension also gets a little bit softer. Once again, steering feeling very good, precise, direct. In the sports mode, it's a little bit, a little bit more resistance done. That's to me a little bit better for steering. And here in that auto mode, then the car also automatically decides if you rather go EV or not. And you can also kind of help that. There's an EV button here, and then you can switch, showed that to you earlier in the infotainment system, between EV driving specifically and this auto hybrid. It says intelligent use of battery charge. So in this auto mode, when you're driving really slowly, then it always goes electric. And then, for example, going higher speed in the motorway, then it will activate a combustion engine. Whereas when the EV mode, the electric driving will always be kind of pre-selected and will stay in that way. Indeed, with the plug-in hybrid drivetrains, it's more efficient to use EV driving in the city and to use the combustion engine on the motorway. And that's then what this hybrid mode is actually doing. Interesting also, I mean, there's all-wheel drive here, but in this case then, let's see here, whoa, wow, yeah, that's really cool. So this acceleration from the get-go, that's the one that is really, really cool, because it has this instant power, and you don't have the sound like in the SQ5. So the SQ5 will always feel sportier, and you think it's sportier. Acceleration-wise, this one already comes close. When you had the air suspension here, yeah, the suspension was quite stiff, and then you can also do some great cornering. So it really goes in the SQ5 direction in a way. Then here also with the S line, so there's not too much difference left then. Yeah, and price-wise also not, because this one here, with all the equipment we've shown you today, I mean, it's a great vehicle, but the price is at 80,000 euros? What? It's of course too expensive, that's the thing. But you get a lot for it quality-wise. It's a premium vehicle. Really feels also very good to the countryside road. Very, calm and sophisticated on the road. And about recuperation, so when you go off the throttle, the car is rather rolling, that's the philosophy here in the normal D auto mode. And just when you're actually on the brakes, then it goes into this charging area. As for the overall range, as we started here, our trip, we're about, just over 500 kilometers or over 300 miles of combustion engine range, and then around 40 kilometers or 25 miles as for the electric range. And then you have an overall range of some 550 kilometers or 330, 340 miles, something like this. So we're actually fine with that. The electric range, of course, could be a little bit better, but most of the plug-in hybrids do not offer much more range yet, actually. So it really varies here from that official figure they're giving you. Really unpleasant weather on the outside, but this one here, the Audi Q5, gives you such a calm and settled driving feeling. You can drive it in a sport way and enjoy it with the steering and suspension and so on. At the same time, it's also good long term because you have the comfortable seating position. Here also with the best seats that are available, told you that earlier, with the fabric surface. This will be also most breathable when it's, for example, really hot in summer times. The cruise control is set with a separate stall column in the lower area here. And then with my left index finger here in the upper stall column, I can also activate or deactivate quite easily the lane keeping assist. And I tested earlier on the motorway. The lane keeping assist is not intrusive at all. It rules kind of late. It's not in this autonomous area. It's more like keeping you on the lane, keeping you on the road. But the good thing about that is that it doesn't annoy you, you know, and if at some point it would annoy, then you can always deactivate it pretty quickly and then steer yourself. So this vehicle here still gives you some kind of classic analog user interface. I really like that. You have the modern touchscreen there where you can also easily get to your Apple CarPlay while driving here and so on. That's okay. It's not distracting too much because you can also easily access it in here. Then the manual climate tuning while driving, with my favorite climate unit of all times. We see it's fading away. So yeah, maybe at some point I just have to get maybe at least a model of this. Gotta ask Audi if they're, hey, do you have any of these spare parts left there for these climate units? Just send me one for the museum, you know, for the Autogefuehl museum. Then I always go there, like to the, you know, behind the glass box, and sometimes like click, 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 click for the AC unit. Yeah, you see, I'm already planning my retirement, but not yet. So back to the driving here. Yeah, countryside road, also once again very calm. And I really like to steer this car around. So it does deliver you one of the best driving feelings in this segment. Is the plug-in hybrid worth it? The electric range is limited. Probably mainly people in Germany will go for it for tax benefits. For company vehicles, you have to tax less than for your private use of the vehicle. This is the main reason. Is it really more environmentally friendly? No. Do you have less fuel consumption? Not really. It depends rather than, you know, how often you charge this one. The pure fuel consumption here, when you leave the electric drivetrain aside, when it's kind of empty, will land at about like 9 to 10 liters on 100 kilometers. So some mid-20s mpg US, some 30 mpg UK. That's not really good, you know. When the battery is empty, you carry around more weight. However, you can also use some recuperation effects even when the battery is empty. Of course, when you're on the brake, have this regenerative braking, and then you can start again with a, you know, small electric rolling or something. So that does give you something of an advantage once again, but it's not a major game changer when you're driving this car predominantly on the motorway or something. You know, it will make sense when you can commute in the city all electric, maybe during the week, or you have a short route to work, and then take a longer trip on the weekend or something. Then it makes sense. Other than that, it's more of a transition period. Yeah, and the thing is that it's really in a way performance oriented because you can combine both drivetrains and really have a great boost forward. Shown that to you here in the early stages of this driving part. That was really a lot of fun. Although, of course, sound-wise, it cannot keep up with the SQ5. We also have a BMW X3 episode, recently facelifted. Definitely tune into that. Yeah, and of course, the other big competitor is the Mercedes GLC.